an evaluation of the curriculum for teaching third space thinking, presented by Austin Fox as part of the final project for EDUC 715 Summer Session 2017. Over the next few minutes, I will give an overview of the curriculum, followed by a description of the intended learners for the curriculum, the components of the curriculum including learning objectives, learning activities, and assessments incorporated into the curriculum. Then I will give an overall evaluation of the curriculum and close with recommendations for implementation. The concept of third space is based on qualitative research indicating that the most successful professionals and desirable employees have developed high aptitude in 5 key competencies: adaptability, cultural competency, empathy, intellectual curiosity, and 360-degree thinking. The objective of the curriculum for teaching third space thinking is to help learners acquire or develop soft skills proficiency in these competencies. The third space concept is intended for use in workshops with high school students, in college classrooms, and with working professionals. As the third space concept is newly developed, it is likely that all learners may be considered to be novices. This evaluation is focused on the syllabus for one of the college classes. In the syllabus, the learning activities are spread across 15 weekly sessions consisting of lectures with presentations, discussions of weekly readings, in-class activities, and post-activity debriefing sessions. One thing that stood out when reviewing this curriculum is that learning objectives are not clearly stated at the beginning of the syllabus. There is a background and rationale section included for the class offered in a narrative format, but no clearly stated learning objectives. Research has shown the importance of having clearly stated learning objectives to guide learners in their efforts and help facilitate effective learning. Fortunately, while learning objectives are not listed at the beginning of the syllabus, goals of the class are included in the presentation for the first class session. The goals are global in nature, as you can see, however, as defined by researchers Anderson and Krathwohl, making them not quite effective as they could be if they were more specific. The activities incorporated into this curriculum are geared toward the objective of building skills, which is a good thing. But some of the activities do not appear to be aligned with the learning objectives. For example, an activity titled The Silent Interview is intended to help learners develop empathy. One of the hallmarks of empathy, as defined in the syllabus, is to be able to listen to others effectively. But learners do not speak in this activity, so there is no opportunity to listen to each other effectively. The activity actually increases awareness of the tendency to make assumptions about others that are often incorrect. So this activity may be better aligned with increasing cultural competence. Another activity that is supposed to develop adaptability does not include any changes that require learners to adapt to anything. Research has shown the importance of learning activities being aligned with learning objectives in order to support more learning. On the positive side, the activities described seem to be interesting and engaging. The assessments incorporated into this curriculum are mostly formative in nature, as they assess things like communication style, which can change over time. This focus on self-assessment is, however, in line with Anderson and Krathwohl's discussion of self-knowledge in the knowledge dimension. The curriculum incorporates a summative assessment also, in the form of a final project intended to assess learners' application of procedural knowledge. In this case, going through a problem-solving process for a client. The overall evaluation of this curriculum focuses on how well the design manages three factors that can influence the extent to which learners achieve learning objectives: transfer, metacognition, and cognitive load. The curriculum supports transfer of procedural knowledge fairly well. It provides ample opportunities for practice, and it allows for skills to be practiced in a context similar to the context and purpose for which they are intended, namely, enabling learners, in this case students, to utilize soft skills to become more effective communicators and therefore more effective problem solvers for their future clients. These practices are shown by research to have positive effects on learning and transfer of knowledge. This is further supported by a summative assessment that requires learners to put the procedural knowledge obtained over the course of the class into action. The curriculum does not do so well in supporting transfer of factual or declarative knowledge. Research has shown that testing learners is a good way to help support knowledge acquisition and facilitate retention and transfer of knowledge, but this curriculum does not incorporate any form of testing. The curriculum does a good job of encouraging metacognition. Discussions of readings and activities promotes reflection and processing of information, and the assessments promote the development of self-knowledge, which research has shown plays a key role in learners' development and engagement in the learning process. I gave the curriculum mixed reviews when it comes to managing cognitive load. It does some things well, such as assigning readings to encourage learners to take in and process information and begin schema development prior to class discussions. This can contribute to the development of germane cognitive load. It also incorporates simple presentations that are free of seductive details, which can contribute to the development of extraneous cognitive load when present. But the lack of specific learning objectives may leave learners with no clear direction for their learning efforts. Research has shown that clear learning objectives support self-regulation, and clear goals may help learners stay engaged in learning, which are two excellent reasons for having clear learning objectives, which unfortunately this curriculum does not utilize effectively. Another thing that stood out in my review is that the curriculum states that it is based on a framework, but no clear framework is presented. If the competencies identified are key to solving problems, it will be helpful if learners were given a framework to utilize in determining which competencies are best suited to solving which kinds of problems. The lack of guidance and clear learning-related information can cause learners to experience confusion and frustration, which are emotions that can negatively impact learning. Moving forward in the development of this curriculum, I would recommend improving the learning objectives by stating them clearly so learners understand what they are supposed to be learning. I also would recommend incorporating quizzes on concept-related terminology, such as the attributes and their definitions, and information contained in the readings. I would recommend modifying or switching activities so that they are aligned with learning objectives. And I would recommend developing an actual framework to help learners better understand and utilize the third space concept. A suggested framework is included as an appendix to this presentation. Use of a framework would help support the development, retention, and transfer of the conceptual knowledge that this curriculum is intended to impart. If these changes are made, then I would recommend the further development and implementation of this curriculum for teaching third space thinking. Thank you.